Hi, and welcome to my channel. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Today we begin an incredible journey into the life of one of history's most debated figures, Adolf Hitler. Whether people admire or despise him, his life story is filled with ambition, failure, power, and dreams. From a young boy with big hopes to a man who changed history forever, this is the story of Adolf Hitler like you've never heard before. Are you ready? Put on your headphones, sit back, and let's dive into this fascinating tale that will improve your English while keeping you engaged until the very end. It all began on April 20, 1889, in a small town called Braunau am Inn in Austria. A baby boy was born to Alois and Clara Hitler. They named him Adolf. No one could have imagined that this little child would one day shake the world. As a young boy, Adolf was not special. He enjoyed playing outside, drawing pictures, and dreaming of a great future. But his life was not perfect. His father, Alois, was very strict and wanted Adolf to study hard and get a government job just like him. However, Adolf had a different dream. "I want to be an artist," he often told his mother, Clara. She loved him deeply and supported his dream, but she could not change Alois' mind. Adolf's childhood was full of conflicts with his father. Alois would shout, "Art is not a real job," and Adolf would remain silent, hiding his tears. When Adolf was 13 years old, his father suddenly passed away. Some people thought this would bring him relief, but instead it left a hole in his heart. He began skipping school. Once a good student, he stopped caring about his studies. His teachers said, "Adolf is smart, but he is lazy." All he wanted to do was draw. After finishing school, Adolf packed his bags and moved to Vienna, the capital of Austria. He was excited. "Vienna is the city of art. I will become a famous painter here," he thought. He applied to the Academy of Fine Arts, a prestigious art school, but when the results came, his heart broke. He had not been accepted. The school told him, "Your work is not good enough." Adolf felt humiliated. "I'll try again," he said, but the following year he was rejected once more. He was devastated. Without school or a job, Adolf's life became difficult. He lived in tiny, dirty rooms and sometimes slept on the streets. He painted postcards and sold them to tourists for little money. Why is life so unfair, he often thought. During this time, his beloved mother passed away. He was alone, struggling, and full of anger. He began blaming others for his failures. "It's not my fault," he would say. Then, in 1914, everything changed. World War I began. Adolf saw an opportunity to give his life meaning. He joined the German army. Finally, he felt part of something important. He loved being a soldier. Adolf was brave in battle, carrying messages across dangerous battlefields. He even received 2 medals for his courage. But in 1918, Germany lost the war. Adolf was furious. "Our leaders betrayed us," he shouted. He believed Germany needed a strong leader to restore its power. After the war, Adolf returned to Germany. The country was in chaos. People were poor and hungry. Many were angry about the war's outcome. Adolf saw an opportunity. He joined a small political group called the German Workers' Party. He quickly became a powerful speaker. When he spoke, people listened. His speeches were full of passion, anger, and promises. "Germany will rise again," he declared. Gradually, more and more people started following him. Adolf changed the name of the group to the National Socialist German Workers' Party, also known as the Nazi Party. He also designed their symbol, a red flag with a black swastika. "This will become the most powerful symbol in the world," he said confidently. His speeches became famous. Thousands of people came to hear him. They believed in his vision of a strong Germany, but his ideas were dangerous. He blamed certain groups of people for Germany's problems. He wanted Germany to belong only to Germans. After World War I, Germany was in deep trouble. There were no jobs. Food was too expensive. Families were starving. The country had to pay large sums of money to other nations. Many Germans felt hopeless. Adolf promised change. He gave them hope, but his plans would lead to one of the darkest chapters in history. This is just the beginning of Adolf Hitler's story. Stay with us to learn more about how he rose to power and what happened next. By listening to this story, you are not only improving your English, but also learning an important piece of history. Keep practicing, keep learning, and see you in the next part. Because they lost the war, Germans were angry and sad. Adolf Hitler saw their pain and used it to his advantage. He told the people, "It's not your fault. I know who is to blame." His words gave people hope, but they also made them angry at others. Slowly, Adolf became a well-known name. Adolf worked hard to grow his party. He held big meetings and gave loud, emotional speeches. "Germany can be great again," he shouted. People clapped and cheered. They believed in his dream. In 1923, Adolf tried to take control of the German government by force. This event was called the Beer Hall Putsch, but it failed. Adolf was arrested and sent to jail for 9 months. While in jail, Adolf wrote a book called Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle. In this book, he shared his ideas. He wrote that Germany needed to become powerful again and blamed certain groups of people for its problems. The book became popular, and many Germans started to believe in his ideas. After being released from jail, Adolf worked even harder. The Nazi Party grew stronger. By 1933, Adolf Hitler was chosen as the Chancellor of Germany, the country's top leader. This was the beginning of a new chapter. Adolf promised jobs, a strong military, and a bright future. The people trusted him, but they had no idea what he was planning next. As Chancellor, Adolf made many changes. He built roads, factories, and schools. More people found jobs, and Germany began to look strong again. The people were happy. They said, "Hitler is a hero." But behind this success, Adolf had dangerous plans. He controlled newspapers, radios, and schools. People were told, "You can only believe in Adolf Hitler." Those who did not agree with him were punished or sent to prison. Adolf created a powerful army called the SS. He also formed a group of young boys called the Hitler Youth. They were trained to fight and spread Nazi ideas. Everywhere in Germany, people saw the swastika flag. It became the symbol of Adolf's power. His speeches became even more powerful. He told the crowds, "Germany is the best. We will rule the world." Thousands of people cheered and shouted, "Heil Hitler!" In 1939, Adolf made his boldest move. He ordered his army to invade Poland. This act started World War II. Adolf's dream was to take over all of Europe and make Germany the most powerful country in the world. At first, Adolf's army won many battles. They were strong and well trained, but as the war continued, things started to go wrong. Adolf had made too many enemies. While the war was happening, Adolf was doing something terrible. He wanted to remove all Jewish people and others he believed. By 1944, Germany was losing the war. Adolf's enemies, like the United States, the Soviet Union, and Britain, were too strong. Bombs fell on German cities. The people who once called Adolf a hero began to lose hope. Adolf became paranoid. He trusted no one and spent most of his time hiding in his bunker. By 1944, Adolf Hitler's dreams of ruling the world were falling apart. His army, which once seemed unstoppable, was now losing battles everywhere. The Soviet Union, one of his biggest enemies, pushed the German army back from the east. At the same time, American and British soldiers attacked from the west. German cities were bombed day and night. Families lost their homes. The people began to turn against Adolf. Why did we follow him? Many asked. But Adolf did not give up. He sat in his bunker giving orders to his generals. "We will not surrender," he shouted. But deep inside, even Adolf knew the war was lost. In early 1945, Adolf stayed in a bunker deep underground in Berlin. The bunker was cold and dark, but it was safe from bombs. Inside, Adolf spent his time planning, even though there was little hope left. He was not alone. His most loyal followers were with him, including his longtime girlfriend, Eva Braun. Eva had stayed by his side for many years, even as Germany was collapsing. Eva Braun had always stayed by Adolf Hitler's side, even in his darkest days. She loved him, but their relationship remained private. Outside the bunker, the sound of gunfire grew louder each day. The Soviet army was getting closer to Berlin. "The end is near," whispered Hitler's advisors. Leaders from other countries begged him to surrender. "Save the people of Germany," they said. But Adolf refused. He believed surrender was a sign of weakness. "If Germany loses, it is because the people were not strong enough," he said coldly. By April 1945, Berlin was surrounded. The Soviet army attacked the city from all sides. Buildings collapsed, fires burned, and people ran for their lives. The once powerful Germany was now in ruins. On April 29, 1945, Adolf made a surprising decision. He married Eva Braun in the bunker. It was a simple ceremony with only a few people present. "You've always been by my side, Eva," Adolf said. Eva smiled, even though she knew this was not a happy moment. After the wedding, Adolf and Eva spent hours talking about their lives and everything they had done. They both knew the end was near. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf made his final decision. He called his closest followers into the bunker and told them, "I will not be captured alive." He believed it was better to die than to let his enemies take him. Then he and Eva went to a small room. Moments later, they took their own lives. Adolf was 56 years old. When the Soviet soldiers reached the bunker, they found the bodies of Adolf and Eva. The war in Europe ended shortly after. On May 8th, 1945, Germany surrendered. The country was left in ruins. Adolf's dream of making Germany powerful had instead brought destruction and sorrow. Millions of lives were lost because of his actions. After Adolf's death, the world worked to rebuild. Germany became a peaceful country. People remembered the horrors of the Holocaust and World War II to ensure such events never happened again. Today, Adolf Hitler's name is a reminder of the dangers of hatred, unchecked ambition, and the misuse of power. His story teaches us an important lesson. Every decision we make shapes our future. Adolf's choices led to pain and loss, not just for himself, but for millions of others. This reminds us that every action, no matter how small, matters. We must choose wisely and always think about the impact our decisions have on others. Hate and division only tear people apart. The world is a much better place when we come together, respect each other, and work toward peace. Life is too short for anger and judgment. By being kind and understanding, we can create a future filled with hope, not regret. So remember, choose love over hate, humility over pride, and unity over division. These simple lessons can make the world a better place. This was the story of Adolf Hitler, a man whose life changed the world forever. It is a story of dreams, power, and the mistakes that led to tragedy. But history is not just about the past. It teaches us how to build a better future. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Language Stories for more exciting stories. Keep learning English while exploring history. See you in the next story.